Holy Week is the most sacred week of the entire year. It's not just another week on the church calendar. It's not just a nice tradition. It's the week where everything changes, where heaven and earth meet, where death is defeated and humanity is saved. And yet, most Catholics go through Holy Week without understanding what's actually happening. This video breaks down the 7 most important things every Catholic needs to know about Holy Week. From Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday, from the teachings of the Church to the words of the popes. If you want to experience Holy Week the way the Church intends, not just as ritual, but as reality, these 7 things matter. Number 1. Holy Week is not a memorial. It's a re-presentation. Most people think Holy Week is when we remember what Jesus did 2,000 years ago, like a memorial service, like a historical reenactment. That's not what the Church teaches. Pope Pius XII, in his 1947 encyclical Mediator Dei, said this clearly. The liturgy of Holy Week is not a mere commemoration. It's a making present of the mysteries of our redemption. Quote, "The liturgical year is not a cold and lifeless representation of the events of the past. It is rather Christ himself who is ever living in his Church." Christ himself, living, present, now. When you participate in the liturgies of Holy Week, Palm Sunday, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Vigil, you're not watching a play. You're not remembering something that happened long ago. You're entering into the very mysteries themselves. The past becomes present. The sacrifice of Calvary becomes accessible to you, here and now. Pope Benedict XVI said it this way in 2007. In the sacred liturgy, we do not simply recall past events. The reality of what was accomplished then becomes present to us. That's the first thing you need to know. Holy Week is not nostalgia. It's participation in the saving events themselves. Number 2. Palm Sunday, the King enters his city to die. Holy Week begins with Palm Sunday, and it's crucial to understand what's happening. Jesus enters Jerusalem riding on a donkey. The crowds wave palm branches and shout, "Hosanna!" They're treating him like a king entering his capital city. But here's what most people miss. This is a king entering his city to die. The palms are symbols of victory, but the victory comes through the cross, not around it. Jesus is deliberately fulfilling the prophecy of Zechariah 9:9. Your king comes to you, humble and riding on a donkey. Pope Francis, in his 2020 Palm Sunday homily, said, Jesus does not enter Jerusalem to receive earthly power. He enters to be condemned to death. And here's the painful irony. The same crowds shouting, Hosanna, on Sunday will be shouting, Crucify him, on Friday. Palm Sunday teaches us something essential. Enthusiasm is easy. Following Jesus to Calvary is hard. The palms we receive on Palm Sunday should be kept in our homes as a reminder, not just of victory, but of the cost of that victory, not just of triumph, but of the way of the cross. Number 3. Holy Thursday. 3 events in one night. Holy Thursday is the densest night in the entire liturgical year. 3 massive events happen in one evening. First, the institution of the Eucharist. Jesus takes bread and wine and says, "This is my body, this is my blood." The Church is born. The priesthood is instituted. The Mass begins. Second, the washing of the feet. Jesus, the Master, the Teacher, God made flesh, gets on his knees and washes his disciples' feet. He shows them what love looks like: service, humility, getting down in the dirt. Third, the agony in the garden. After the Last Supper, Jesus goes to Gethsemane. He sweats blood. He prays, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me." He experiences the full weight of what's coming. Pope John Paul II, in his 1980 Holy Thursday letter to priests, wrote, Holy Thursday is the birthday of the priesthood and of the Eucharist. These two realities are inseparable. And Pope Leo XIV, in his first Holy Week as Pope in 2025, said, "On Holy Thursday, we see the face of a God who serves. The same hands that will be nailed to the cross are the hands that wash the feet of his friends." Here's what you need to understand. Holy Thursday is about love made visible. Love in the Eucharist. Love in service. Love that goes to the cross. Number 4. Good Friday, the only day with no Mass. Good Friday is the only day of the year when the Catholic Church does not celebrate Mass. Think about that. The Church celebrates Mass every single day. Every day except one, Good Friday. Why? Because on Good Friday, the sacrifice is happening. The one sacrifice that all Masses make present is occurring on Calvary. There's no need to represent it because it's happening. Instead, the Church gathers for the liturgy of the Lord's Passion. We venerate the cross. We receive communion from hosts consecrated the night before on Holy Thursday. Pope Benedict XVI said in 2011, "Good Friday is the day of the cross. The tree of death has become the tree of life." The cross is not a symbol of defeat. It's the instrument of our salvation. On Good Friday, we don't avoid looking at the cross. We don't soften it or explain it away. We venerate it. We kiss it. We acknowledge that this brutal, bloody execution, is how God chose to save the world. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph 617, teaches, "By his loving obedience to the Father, Jesus transforms the curse of death into a blessing." Good Friday is the day we face the cost of sin, the price of redemption, the depth of God's love. Number 5. Holy Saturday, the day of silence and dissent. Holy Saturday is the most overlooked day of Holy Week. Nothing liturgical happens during the day. The churches are silent. The tabernacles are empty. Jesus is in the tomb. But something profound is happening. The ancient tradition of the Church, taught by the Fathers and affirmed in the Apostles' Creed, is that Jesus descended to the dead. He descended into hell. Not the hell of the damned, but Sheol, Hades, the realm of the dead, the place where the righteous who died before Christ were waiting. And on Holy Saturday, Jesus goes there. He breaks open the gates. He proclaims the victory. He leads the captives out. Pope Benedict XVI, in his 2007 Holy Saturday homily, said, "Holy Saturday is the day when God is hidden. It is the day that speaks to our own experience of God's absence." We all have our Holy Saturdays, days when God seems silent, when the tomb is closed and we don't yet see the resurrection. But Holy Saturday teaches us, even in the silence, Jesus is working. Even in the darkness, redemption is happening. The icon of the harrowing of hell, Jesus pulling Adam and Eve from the grave, is the image of Holy Saturday. Christ descends to the lowest place to lift us to the highest. Number 6. The Easter Vigil, the mother of all vigils. The Easter Vigil is the greatest liturgy of the entire year. Pope Pius XII called it the mother of all vigils. It begins in darkness. The new fire is lit. The Paschal candle is lit from that fire. The Exultet is sung, one of the most beautiful hymns in the entire Church. Rejoice, heavenly powers, sing, choirs of angels, exult, all creation around God's throne. Jesus Christ, our King, is risen. Then we hear salvation history, 9 readings from the Old Testament, tracing the story from creation to the Red Sea to the prophets, all of it leading to this moment, the resurrection. Then, the Gloria, the bells, the Alleluias that have been silent for 40 days, baptisms, confirmations, First Communions. Pope Francis said in 2013, "The Easter Vigil is a journey through history with Christ. We relive the saving deeds of God. We prepare to renew our baptismal promises, and we celebrate the new life that comes from the resurrection. And Pope Leo XIV, in 2025, said, "The Easter Vigil is not a nice ceremony. It is the night when death dies and life explodes into the world. If you only attend one liturgy all year, this should be it. The Easter Vigil is the center. Everything else flows from this night." Number 7. Easter Sunday is not the end. It's the beginning. Here's what most Catholics get wrong. They think Easter Sunday is the end of Holy Week, the finale, the conclusion. It's not. Easter Sunday is the beginning of 50 days of Easter. The octave of Easter lasts 8 days. Every day is celebrated as a solemnity, the highest rank of feast. Then Eastertide continues for 40 more days until Pentecost. The Church doesn't celebrate Easter for one day. The Church celebrates it for 50 days. Pope John Paul II wrote in his 1998 apostolic letter, Dies Domini, "Sunday is the day of the resurrection. It is the first day of the new creation. Every Sunday is a little Easter." And the Catechism, paragraph 1169, says, "The Sunday celebration of the Lord's Day is at the heart of the Church's life." Easter isn't a day. It's a reality that transforms every day. The resurrection isn't something that happened once. It's the power that defines Christian life. Pope Benedict XVI said in 2012, "The resurrection is not a theory. It's not an idea. It's a reality that changes everything." That's the 7th thing you need to know. Easter doesn't end on Easter Sunday. Easter is the permanent state of the Christian. Christ is risen, and He remains risen forever. So those are the 7 most important things about Holy Week. 1. Holy Week is not a memorial. It's a representation of the mysteries. 2. Palm Sunday. The King enters his city to die. 3. Holy Thursday. 3 events in one night: Eucharist, foot washing, agony. 4. Good Friday. The only day with no Mass, because the sacrifice is happening. 5. Holy Saturday. The day of silence and Christ's descent to the dead. 6. The Easter Vigil, the mother of all vigils, the greatest liturgy of the year. 7. Easter Sunday is not the end. It's the beginning of 50 days. If you understand Holy Week, you understand the faith. If you participate in Holy Week, you enter into the very mystery of salvation. Here's my challenge to you. Don't just watch Holy Week this year. Don't just show up on Easter Sunday in your nice clothes for the annual obligation. Enter into it. Go to the liturgies. Palm Sunday, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, the Easter Vigil if at all possible. Read the Scriptures for each day. Meditate on the mysteries. Fast on Good Friday. Keep silence on Holy Saturday. Let Holy Week do what it's designed to do: transform you. Because this isn't about remembering something that happened 2,000 years ago. This is about entering into the reality that saves you now. Drop a comment and tell me, are you going to commit to experiencing Holy Week fully this year? Not just Easter Sunday, the whole week. If this breakdown helped you understand Holy Week, like the video. Subscribe to Catholic Snack for more content that breaks down what the Church actually teaches. And this Holy Week, don't just observe, participate, enter in, let the mysteries of Christ's passion, death, and resurrection become present to you. Christ is risen. He is risen indeed, and that changes everything.